Hey everybody, Becky here from Disney in Your Day, and I wanted to talk with you a little bit today about planning a trip to Disney World anytime in the near future. So, I'm kind of referring to this as planning a trip to Disney during COVID-19 because I'm going to cover a lot of the important points you need to know about the new restrictions that are in place or changes that have been made to the parks. And we don't know exactly how long these restrictions will last. So, as of right now, when I talk about planning a Disney trip in the future, I'm talking about any time between now and September 2021. I do expect by September 2021 that most or all of these restrictions or changes will be lifted and things will go back to normal, but we can't know for certain when that will happen. So if you're planning to go to the parks anytime within the next year or so, I would be very aware of the following things. So the first one is visiting the theme parks. There are a lot of things to keep in mind when you're visiting the parks, but the major one is the new Parks Pass system. You not only need to have a ticket to enter the parks, you need to sign up for an online reservation with Disney's Park Pass reservation system. Without a reservation, you will not be allowed in the theme park, even if you have a ticket. It looks like for the most part, availability is pretty good for these. There aren't really dates filling up except for annual pass holders who don't have a resort reservation. But if you're planning a trip, staying at a Disney resort, you shouldn't have a problem making your reservation. Just make sure you do it. The next thing with the parks, there's no park hopping right now. You're currently limited to one park per day. They had said early on they were hoping this would change by January 2021. And if you book a Disney package right now, you have the option to add on a park hopper ticket. But again, no official date of when that will come back. I suspect that the park pass system and park hopping kind of go hand in hand. So once they stop taking reservations, you'll be able to park hop again. The next thing, not all attractions are available. Just because the park's open doesn't mean that all attractions are running. There are certain ones that are open right now. A lot of the live shows are not happening for kind of obvious reasons. Performers, especially singing shows, like if you picture Beauty and the Beast in Hollywood studios, just not a good situation with the potential to spread germs. Park hours are adjusted, so check for the latest hours, but most parks right now, at least through October, are closing earlier than usual or opening later than is typical. So you're seeing parks closing at 6 or 7 p.m. or a park like Epcot not opening until 11 a.m. There are currently no nighttime shows or nighttime spectaculars. Things like fireworks, parades, any of those nighttime shows, Fantasmic, those are not happening. The water parks are not open. No reopening date has been given for Typhoon Lagoon or Blizzard Beach. And there's no character meet and greets right now. You may be able to catch characters at certain times just walking around the park as part of a character cavalcade, not officially a parade, but they will ride down the street or through the parks. Or just at times in certain elevated areas where you can't really access them. But your typical character meet and greet that you think of, where you can get the autograph and take a picture, none of those are happening right now. Let's move on to dining and some of the restrictions when it comes to dining during this time period. So dining reservations can now be made 60 days before your trip. This is a pretty big change because you could previously make them 180 days ahead of time, 6 months. Now you're only looking at 2 months ahead of time. Not all restaurants are open, so there's certain locations in each park that will remain closed. If you're curious about what these locations are, there are certain places you can find the information online, but I've worked hard to compile everything that you need to know about traveling in 2020, and this also applies through 2021, but for now I'm saying definitely 2020 because we know these restrictions will almost certainly last till the end of this year at the very least. I've compiled all of this information into a bunch of printables that you can buy on my Etsy shop. I think it's pretty affordable at $8. I put a ton of work and time into these, so hopefully that's helpful for anybody who is thinking about going. It covers what attractions are open, what restaurants are open, how to plan for this time period, things like that. And I am updating it as things change as well. Menus are also different and limited during this time. Most restaurants have adjusted their menus to a smaller, more concise offering of dishes. So if you're a foodie, that's kind of a downside of things, not the typical big menus you're used to. Some of your favorites might be gone. No buffets are happening. Table service meals are all either plated or family style, and most character meals are gone. There are still 2 locations doing a modified character experience. That's Garden Grill and Topolino Terrace, but that is a different situation. You're not going to have the characters come to your table and take pictures or do autographs. They instead walk around the restaurant. They may stop in a spot for a few moments for you to take a photo or take a selfie, but they're not coming table to table. Currently, there are no dining plans. Dining plans are not being sold anymore for packages in 2020, and they are not being sold for packages in 2021 as of right now. If things change, you should be able to add those on later, but currently there are no dining plan packages available. Mobile check-in is encouraged at table service restaurants. Instead of going up to the host stand, you can check in from your phone and just get a text when your table's ready. Just less interaction, the better. For counter service restaurants, mobile ordering is encouraged or required in some locations. They want you to place your order on your phone and then let them know when you're there, and they prepare it and you can pick it up. About the Disney resorts, not all resorts are open in 2020. Some are open now. Some have opening dates through the rest of this year in the fall, and some do not have opening dates at all yet. So places like the All-Star Resorts, Port Orleans, they don't have opening dates currently. We don't know when those resorts will reopen. They're doing increased cleaning in the resorts. Common areas will be cleaned more often, and rooms undergo thorough cleanings between parties. If you don't want someone coming into your room while you're there, you can request to not have them clean. And pools will still be open, but at a reduced capacity. In terms of transportation, if you're flying in and using the Magical Express, you'll have to get your own luggage. If you've done it before, you're probably used to being able to just head straight to the bus and not have to go down to the luggage carousel, get your suitcase, bring it with you, because Disney brings it right to your room. They won't be offering this service during this time. You can still get your suitcase, take the bus, and put your luggage underneath the bus. They're happy to do that, but you cannot expect them to bring it to your room. So don't forget to get your suitcases. Minivans are currently unavailable. So if you prefer that method of transportation, know that that won't be there for you. Physical distancing is required on all public transportation, also in all areas throughout the parks and resorts and all of that, but that's kind of a given. But it's harder to picture on transportation, but the buses, the monorail, all those things will be marked with physical distancing stickers, and you'll be expected to wear masks while you're there. Speaking of which, a couple of other general things. Face coverings are required for all guests ages 2 and up at all times when they're at Disney, unless they are seated at a restaurant eating food, they are in the pool, or they're in their own room. Otherwise, everywhere else you should be wearing a mask at all times. That means walking through the theme parks, on the transportation, in the lobby at the resort. Even if you have a snack or a drink in the parks, you're expected to find a table or a place to sit and stay while you are enjoying those. The other major thing is that temperature screenings will be done during your entrance to the park. So before you go in, they will take your temperature. If it's registering as high, they will pull you aside and wait and do it a second time, and your party will be pulled as well. So those are most of the basics of when it comes to planning a trip, of things you want to be aware of during COVID-19. I would keep all of this in mind if you're thinking about going anytime through the end of 2020 or the first, honestly, 9 months of 2021. Right now, Disney has opened their package booking through September 26th, 2021. So you can book a trip up till then, but we don't know when exactly some of these restrictions will be raised. If you're thinking about going to Disney, but you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, I have a few things that will hopefully help you. The first one is that you can have me book and plan your trip for you. I am a travel agent specializing in Disney vacations. I can do lots of trips, but Disney, of course, is my specialty. And what that means is you can just book your trip through me and it doesn't cost you anything extra. It's the same exact price as if you book directly through Disney. I get paid on commission from Disney. So I still get paid if you use me, but because I'm getting paid, I can help you with lots of stuff. So I can help you figure out which hotel is going to be the best one for your budget, how many days you might want to spend in the parks. And then once you're booked, I can help you figure out how you can make those park pass reservations, what places you might want to dine at, what attractions are going to be open while you're visiting. Those are all things that I can help you do. If you aren't looking for a travel agent, but you still want a little extra help, I have an Etsy shop. My shop is called Magic in Your Day. And I have a series of 2020 planning printables, which have lists of all of the things that are open and operating, as well as planning worksheets to help you figure out things like budget, how much time you need in the theme parks, what your itinerary is, where you want to book your reservations, stuff like that. So I encourage you to check out both of those things. And of course, my blog, DisneyInYourDay.com, has lots of great information. So if you have any questions about anything, feel free to leave a comment below or send me an email or reach out to me on any sort of social media. I'd be happy to help you. All right. I hope everybody has a magical day.